One ring to rule them all. One ring to find them. One ring to bring them all. And in the darkness, bind them.
Welcome all Middle-earth fans to my second video. My name is Anders. I'm the host of Lore of the Rings, and Lore of the Rings is a YouTube channel that discusses and analyzes different Lord of the Rings topics each week. These are my social media channels where you can follow me on updates on my videos and other Lord of the Rings news. This week's video is going to be about the differences in the Shadow of War video game and the Lord of the Rings movies / books. The Shadow of War video game is about a ranger named Talion, and Talion is guarding the Black Gate at the time when Sauron comes back to take Mordor and he is murdered. A wraith named Celebrimbor latches onto his body after he is murdered by Sauron's henchman. Celebrimbor's main goal in the video game is to stop Sauron's spread of terror throughout Mordor. Here's a list of 5 things that make Shadow of War not canon and not a part of the real Lord of the Rings universe. Celebrimbor's new ring that he made in Shadow of War would have fallen under Sauron's control. So in the video game, Celebrimbor makes a new ring of power to challenge Sauron's one ring of power. But in the real Lord of the Rings canon universe, Sauron's made the one ring of power to control all other rings. All other rings would fall under the one ring of power. So there'd be no way that Celebrimbor's new ring would be able to challenge the one ring. It would just fall under dominion of Sauron's ring, and Sauron would then have control of Celebrimbor and Talion. Isildur is not one of the 9 Nazguls. Later in the game, it is revealed that Isildur, who cut the One Ring's finger from Sauron, is actually one of the 9 Nazguls who now serve him. This can't be true because Isildur would have been way too dead for them to bring him back to life with the Ring of Power onto his finger. It would have taken the orcs days to drag his body back to Mordor to be able to give him one of the rings. And also Isildur and the Nazguls, they weren't even alive at the exact same time. The Nazguls were created thousands of years before Isildur was even alive. The Siege of Minas Ithil actually lasts 2 years. In the Shadow of War video game, the Siege of Minas Ithil makes it look like it takes just a couple of days for the city to fall and be able to turn in Minas Morgul, but in the books, the Siege of Minas Ithil actually takes 2 years. Celebrimbor had no part in forging the One Ring of Power. So in the video game Shadow of War, it depicts Celebrimbor helping Sauron create the One Ring of Power. This is not true. In Lord of the Rings canon, Sauron created the One Ring of Power in secret, so that nobody knew that he had this ring and that could control and dominate all other rings given to men, elves, and dwarves. No Nazgul were killed until the Battle of Pelennor Fields and the Return of the King. The Nazgul weren't even around and created until the Second Age, 2251, and they didn't die until the first one, which was the Witch King of Angmar, in the Battle of Pelennor Fields and the Return of the King. So there's no way that in this video game that any of the Nazgul would have even been killed or destroyed. So those are my top 5 reasons why Shadow of War does not fall into the canon universe of Lord of the Rings books and movies. If you haven't already, give my video a like, press the subscribe button down below. You can also comment to give me your thoughts on the video game and the movies. You can also follow me on social media and my Facebook page at Lore of the Rings. You can follow me on Twitter at RingsLore, and you can follow me on Instagram at loreofthe.rings. Repeat, at loreofthe.rings. Stay tuned, Middle-earth fans, as next week's video is going to be about culture in the Lord of the Rings. You have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Lore of the Rings.